Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So we actually have an update from yesterday's video where we have a bridal party who stayed at an Airbnb, who was then kicked out by the host of the Airbnb, and it was great big drama. I had Raina, who is the host, she then came out with like a 10-minute long video explaining her side of the story, and essentially what she was saying was that she thought that there were only two people staying, a man and a woman, and she had no idea that this was a wedding affair. No idea whatsoever.
Yes, it's a sad story. She's getting married. I'm just hoping that she's accountable of her actions since it is her big day. And I can understand, I'm a woman. Wedding is a big thing for us. But you should have planned that properly. And you should, next time you go, rent an Airbnb, please be honest to your host. Because as a host, we understand.
And what she had an issue with was that there was a policy within the Airbnb where you could only have like 6 people. So on the day of the wedding, she was sent a message saying, hey, just to let you know, there's going to be more people than 6. It's my wedding day. And Raina was like, hold on a minute, I thought there was only 2 people staying. Basically, she threatened to call the police, and Airbnb was then contacted, the reservation was cancelled, and the bridal party was sent on their way. And that's where we were left at.
When I saw the video, I felt so bad. And I said, why is she not telling me this? Why was she hiding it from me? Why she didn't tell me that those people are on her wedding parties, getting their hair done? Yes, they're very, very beautiful. Yes, and I feel so bad about it that, the situation, ended that way. I hope it did not, but I'm hoping that next time she'll understand that she has to communicate.
Now today's video takes another bit of a strange turn because we now have Raina appearing on the news. She appears on Fox News where she is talking more about her side of the story. Yes, this has in fact reached newsworthy levels at this point. We then have the actual bride, because we hadn't heard from the bride. We heard from Tyranny, who was one of the hairstylists. She wasn't the bride stylist, she was the other bridesmaids, and she had 10 bridesmaids to do. We now have the bride. Her name is Angel, and she has come on to share her side of the story. So obviously after watching it, I had to report back to you guys.
Also, just want to say that I really do appreciate every single person that defended me and supported me in my hairstylist comments, under that woman's video, in her comments, that messaged Airbnb, every single person, including Airbnb. They did completely resolve the situation effectively, professionally, and swiftly, and I am so happy with the outcome. And I appreciate you guys a lot. Without you, I don't think that any of this would have happened, especially with my hairstylist, Tyranny. She was amazing hairstylist. She did her thing, and my girls looked very good on that day, and without her, this would not have happened. So I do want to thank Tyranny as well. Giving you guys some brief screenshots and facts, but before I get started with that, for anybody, and I'm not saying that there are a whole bunch of people doing this, but for anybody that is going to, the host's page to harass or bully her, just please don't, guys. The situation was fixed. It's fine. I'm okay.
Now, Raina had already been harassed up to this point. In fact, when the hairstylist video went viral, I think her listing actually just got completely removed. It was being bombarded with loads of hate. So obviously that's the reasoning why Angel's saying, hey, look, like, it's all been resolved now. Let us just stop, which I think is nice of her. However, she did go on to say, yes, that she did know about this policy beforehand, and the Everett guy, pretty sure that's his name, that is actually her dad who made the booking, who made the reservation, because of course Raina, all she knew was that there were 2 people, and then when she then tried to confirm 2 people, it was, no one said anything different.
Okay, so number 1, I knew that my venue was not going to let me until 12. At that point, I had to figure out a situation because I have 10 bridesmaids in total, and they needed to get their makeup done, and they needed to start like early in the morning. Second, because I needed to figure something out, I went ahead and I told my dad, hey, I need to get an Airbnb or a hotel, whatever the case may be. Also, I did not tell this woman that I was having my wedding, and I don't think I needed to. And honestly, that opinion is not going to change. it's not going to change. When I book an Airbnb, when I book a hotel, I don't tell them why I'm there or what I'm doing. Quite frankly, they don't need to know. All they need to know is that I'm staying there. When I book the Airbnb, here is the policy. No gatherings of more than 6 people, up to 4 vehicles allowed on the property, no street parking. That's what was there. Again, I also saw 6 guests maximum allowed.
But she did set up a system. She set up a rotational system, which you can see up here. It says he sent a message out to the chat, I'm assuming, saying this Airbnb only allows 4 people inside at a time. We'll rotate in groups of 3. Once your group is finishing up, please call the next group to let them know it's time to head over. These times are estimates. And then, yeah, she sent it all out.
She sent me the morning of our check-in. Our check-in was supposed to be on the 12th. I didn't check until the 13th, the day of my wedding, because I went out the morning before. I didn't get back to Montgomery until 5 a.m. What you guys should know is that I have 10 bridesmaids in total. I was aware that it said 6 guests maximum. And I had created, or really my maid of honor and my matron of honor, shout out to them, they created a schedule for the bridesmaids to get there to do their makeup, because I knew that I couldn't have more than 6 people there. Also, this was sent at 8:32 p.m. on Friday. Now, guys, I got back to my Airbnb at like 5 in the morning because, like I said, I went out the night before. I immediately went to bed. I was tired and I was getting married in the morning. I went to bed, and then when I woke up around like 8 in the morning, I realized that there were more than 6 people. And I realized that that was against the rules. So I messaged her and I said, good morning, just wanted to let you know that I'm getting married today.
It goes on to say that she went out the night before. I'm assuming it was like a hen do of some sorts. She then came back, and she then realized that they were over the limit of how many people could be in the house. Now, I'm assuming, because this part, everyone was getting a little bit confused by this, because part of my criticism and other people's criticism was like to the Airbnb host. It's not like they're staying there. Yes, I know liability issue, but you know, it's not as if they're staying. They just needed somewhere to get ready. But Angel's then saying that she woke up and realized that they were over the limit. So did more than 6 people stay in the place? I can understand why, if you're an Airbnb owner, you only expect to have 2 people staying, to then realize you actually have like one. Like you have 6. I can understand why that would be a little bit difficult.
Also, Raina's whole thing is that she needs to have IDs of everyone that's staying there or even visiting. You have all of those people just stayed. I don't know. I know in my last video I had quite a lot of people who were like, oh, I've never had to give any form of identification, never had anyone be that strict. I have stayed in a few places where they are Airbnb type accommodations where the host, you know, all of them, but the host, does ask you for proof of ID, and they only want those people staying there. And if anything got broken, then they know the people who stayed there. Do you know what I mean?
She did actually type in the thing. So when we saw Raina's side of the story, when we saw her screenshots, Raina was asking, okay, I'm checking right now, how many are there, when she was trying to find somewhere else for everyone to go. Angel did actually reply, and she said just 7, but the message was not sent.
Morning, just wanted to let you know that I'm getting married today. My venue is 15 minutes down the road. I let her know that so that she knew that whenever we left, it would be quick, okay? Venue won't let me and my bridesmaids in yet, but will around 12 p.m. By that time, we should all be gone, as well as the cars. I just wanted to let you all know that, so that you didn't think it was a party or anything. And again, I apologize. I apologize twice, guys. I'm not a rude person. I understand this is somebody's place, and I don't want to do anything to make them uncomfortable. She said that she wouldn't be able to, that says accommodate your requests. I understood. Did I understand? No, but I understood that this is her place, so if that's how she feels, then that's how she feels. I said, okay, do you know where they may be able to go since only 3.5 hours? She asked how many there are. I said just 7. I know that for a fact in her video, it did not go through to her. So she did not see this. Guys, like I said, this Airbnb was in the middle of the forest. I'm a very type B person, so really that morning I was running off having no Wi-Fi and just doing whatever. But I did say that there were 7 people in the Airbnb. It just did not get to her, and I was running around doing stuff, so I didn't see that it didn't send.
And she claims it was because it was like dodgy signal that didn't get sent out. And we know that one of Raina's complaints was the fact that she just wanted to know how many people were in the house, but of course she was told, but that message just was not delivered to her. And the final bit is when they contacted Airbnb, they were told by Airbnb to actually write a comment underneath the listing because Raina is a problem host. So does that mean that she was a problem in this circumstance, or does that mean that she is like labeled as a problem host?
Aftermath of all of that was that I called my dad, let him know what the situation was. He called Airbnb. Airbnb told him that they would be giving him a refund for half the stay, and they said, please go make a comment under this woman's listing because she is a problem host. And nobody ever really leaves a comment, so Airbnb can't do anything about it. However, I will say as of like 15 minutes ago, and I want to thank you guys because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten this recognition without you. But Airbnb did give us a full refund and a coupon for our next stay, and said that it was on them, and apologized for everything, congratulated me on my wedding. So for everybody saying I'm so wrong, there you have it.
And she appeared on Fox News, because you best believe that she did appear on the news. Raina, she apparently she's like a top host and all of this, and she's been doing Airbnb for like 3 years, and it's just basically her life. So I'm confused if she's like a problem host in general. I don't know. Need a bit of clarification there.
I'm frustrated, okay? I'm not upset. I am frustrated about the whole situation because it's mostly the communication. You know what I mean? It's everything is in communication.
Tart has been a longtime host on Airbnb and manages multiple properties, even becoming a super host for 3 years, a recognition for top-rated host who delivers exceptional guest experiences. So when she received a reservation for 2 people, she didn't think that she would find herself in a negative situation.
I sent her a message and I told her that, like, hey, we have a limit. We got, up to 6 because of the liability reason.
Tart says the person who made the reservation didn't make the trip, and no one informed her that the property would have more than 2 guests and be used for day of wedding preparations for a bride and her bridesmaids.
When you do that, you're talking about liability. There's a lot of people in there, and on the Airbnb app, it's only 2 people. All those people need to be accounted on the Airbnb app as a guest.
What this has taught me from my previous video was the fact that yes, Angel did know that there was a 6-person capacity before she made the booking. She did clarify that there were 7 people, however, the message wouldn't send. And then on top of that, I'm assuming that the bridesmaids did actually stay in the place, which would then change. I feel like that would kind of change the dynamic of it. I didn't realize that they had stayed there. I just thought that they had like just arrived and whatnot. But they did have a rotational system, concepts of good plans to create this rotational system. But then, of course, it all went out of the window when they woke up the next day and discovered that there was one more person within the accommodation.
No street parking, and all IDs need to be submitted for all guests prior to check-in. These weren't guests. Again, they were visitors. They were not going to be there for more than like 4 hours that day. And these policies were on the listing that Everett agreed to upon booking. You're violating numerous policies of ours. I'll give you 30 minutes to vacate the property. Otherwise, the sheriff will be notified to vacate you from the property. And so, while I said I was upset, guys, but I wasn't going to be cursing this woman out and doing the most. So I just said, awesome. I hope you have the day you deserve, after threatening to call the sheriff on a bride who was trying to have effective communication. Lovely conversation. I didn't talk to her ever again.
Sure, if you go back on my last video, you can have a little look through, and yeah, comment section can be a little bit split. I understand it on the element that like it is someone's wedding, and I do feel that if Angel had said prior that it was a wedding party, I am not necessarily sure if she would have got that booking or not, just because there would have been more than the 6-person capacity, and that's the reasoning why she probably didn't want to say anything. I'd be really interested to see if Raina's, like, is that her Airbnb gone? Like, is that her completely gone from Airbnb listings? Does that mean that she can no longer put her property on Airbnb? I'd be really interested just to see exactly where she goes from there. But either way, they have now gotten married. Raina has appeared on the news talking about this. That's pretty much all I have to say to you guys today. That is the update. There won't be as many videos for the rest of this week because I have family coming and visiting. But if you don't hear from me for a couple of days, that's the reasoning why. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.